What's going on, everybody? I've got a treat for you today. It is the one and only Jamie Hart.
Hello.
How are you, Jamie?
I'm doing great.
Good. I appreciate you coming in today to talk with me about all things that you've been through as far as fitness, bodybuilding, etc. But before I get off on a tangent, because I'm good at that, I want to take a step back and ask you, tell me your story.
Okay.
What got you into fitness? What got you started? Where'd you come from? Where you going? Let's hear it.
Okay. So to start out, many moons ago,
Okay.
I started, I guess, at a young age. I did the whole dance thing, and then did taekwondo, and then in fifth grade, I guess really where I fell in love with sports and fitness was my dad signed my brother up for baseball. I have a younger brother.
Okay.
So he signed him up for baseball, and I'm like, wait a second, I want to play.
Yeah.
So he signed me up for softball. So that just, I guess, pile drived into everything because I fell in love with the game, and I was a catcher. So my dad, starting in middle school, he actually started me in the gym whenever really females didn't lift
Right.
back then. And I mean, they did, but it wasn't as mainstream as what it is now.
Right.
So I remember being in the gym and, him teaching me how to squat and leg press, because catchers, you have to have strength in your legs, because you're squatting.
You're in that position for a long time. Yeah.
So he started me in the gym that way, and we continued to do that all the way through high school, and then I played college ball. And then once I graduated, I got married, got pregnant, then ended up getting divorced, got remarried, and really I found the world of bodybuilding while I was going through divorce.
Okay.
My now husband will be married 11 years in June.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Chad's an awesome dude.
He's the one that kind of introduced me to the bodybuilding world. And I met some of the local bodybuilders and became friends with them.
Yeah.
And I started then, so I guess 11, 12 years ago, I wanted to compete. I was like, oh my gosh, this is really cool. Like, I love to lift anyways. This would be really cool to do. So I started, working towards that goal, and then life and blending a family and everything else got in the way. I let the excuses and whatever else ruin it. But sometimes, that happens. It's
sometimes
life.
it has to take priority.
Yeah.
That's one thing I have to remind myself, not to cut you off.
Oh,
but,
no, you're good.
I get hung up in my old ways of bodybuilding was everything for me. That was when I was in college, growing up even. And then I started a business, and I started to get in my head about I'm not able to go to the gym 6 days a week anymore, or I'm not able to prep my food. But there's certain times in life where other priorities have to take place.
Yeah.
I feel, but continue anyway.
No, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
And it does, life happens that way. And you just have to regroup and, focus on what needs to be focused on. So then I got pregnant with our son he'll be 7 next month. And up until that time, my weight has always, kind of done the whole yo-yo thing. I've never been small. I've always had to kind of watch, what I eat, what I drink, all that kind of stuff. So I was able to maintain my weight for the most part. And then after I had Champ, got the baby weight off. But then 2020 hit.
Okay.
So 2020 hit.
The pandemic.
The lovely pandemic.
We'll hold
and I'd already kind of started gaining weight.
Yeah.
Before that, I was doing, I'd started doing Orange Theory and loved it. So that kind of kicked in that competitiveness, because they'll do in-house competitions and that kind of stuff. And I've always been super competitive. So that just hit, it revived it. I'm like, oh, okay, I really like this.
Right.
And so 2020 hit, they shut everything down. I ate and drank way too much.
Okay.
Gained a bunch of weight.
Right.
And got to the point where I was absolutely miserable with myself. I knew then that I was not being a good wife. I wasn't being a good mother. And it wasn't that I was not doing the things that I was supposed to do. I just felt like I wasn't present enough.
Yeah.
I would look in the mirror and I would hate what I saw.
Yeah.
And I would spend forever, looking at different outfits to wear just to go out like to the grocery store or something, and pulling and tugging, and I'm like, this is absolutely ridiculous. I've got to change something.
Yeah.
So it was literally like a light switch. One day I woke up and I was like, I'm not doing this shit anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I'm tired of feeling this way and I'm ready to do something about it.
Right.
So Chad was super supportive with everything. So we figured out, I'm like, I don't want to do, a restrictive diet because that doesn't work. It's short term.
Yeah.
I want to do something to where I can maintain it for forever.
Yeah.
And we did the 80-20 rule.
Okay.
Which I highly recommend to anybody.
Yeah.
I feel like it's the most maintainable thing, especially if you have a busy lifestyle. You eat healthy and clean 80% of the time, but if you want to go out to eat with your family a couple of times a week, that allows
a little bit of flexibility.
Yes, it gives you flexibility, and you're not on this super stringent, schedule like what it is with bodybuilding or any other kind of like a fat diet.
Right.
And to, if you have a food craving, you can eat it.
Yeah.
It's okay in moderation.
Exactly.
Now, that doesn't mean, go eat
balls to
Big
the wall.
Mac.
We were talking about this with Big John and Justin Meyer a few weeks ago about the whole like IIFYM crowd. Like, if it fits your macros, like they kind of take it to the extreme.
No.
It's like, bro, like, yeah, you could drink whey protein and Pop-Tarts to fit your macros, but you're probably going to feel like shit.
Right. What's it going to do for you?
Exactly. So,
yeah.
So 80-20 is what served you best?
That's what served me best.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so from there, did you, I guess when you woke up that day and you were like, screw this, I'm ready to change. Was that like what kind of kickstarted your journey into competing?
Yeah.
Bodybuilding? Okay. Yeah.
So I decided then, okay, I can do this. So I knew before I could do anything with bodybuilding, I had to get a handle on the food.
Yeah.
I had to fix my relationship with food.
Okay.
So that's that also the 80-20 allowed me to do that, because I was able to find stuff. Okay, so if I'm going to eat clean, let me eat this instead of this.
Right.
If I'm craving a sugary soda or something, let me drink sparkling water instead and get used to doing that.
Right.
And it's little things that you can tweak that make a huge difference. The sauces that you use, the seasonings that you use.
No doubt.
All of that, you just tweak little stuff along the way, and it adds up as long as you stay consistent with it.
Right. That's true.
So I did that, lost weight. Then I reached out to Trey Hodge, who's been my coach ever since.
He's awesome.
And, I knew too, because I'd met him way back when.
Yeah.
I'm like, if I decide to compete, then that's who I want to go with.
Of course.
So I called Trey and I was like, hey, this is what I've been doing. This is where I came from, whatnot. Would you be interested in working with me? And we didn't talk about bodybuilding or anything. Really, it was more so to help me. I'd gotten the 80-20 down. Well, then I wanted to look as strong as what I knew physically I was. Because my strength had also increased, because I was going to the gym 6 days a week with doing the 80-20. So my strength had increased, but I still didn't feel like I looked like I was still fluffier.
Right.
Than what I wanted to be.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, I need help tweaking now my diet to where I can look as strong as what I know physically I am.
Right.
So he's like, okay, we'll work on that. Well, we did that for a few months, and then Chad and I talked, and I told him, I said, I've really been thinking about it, but you only live one time. I'm not getting any younger.
Right.
I want to compete.
Yeah.
Like, I want to get on stage at least one time.
Yeah.
I just want to do it once to say that I did it and like prove to myself that I am able to do it. So he was like, okay, I support you. So I talked to Trey about it, and we were towards the end of the year in 2021. So he told me, he was like, by January, let's see where we are.
Right.
I'm going to decrease, some of your calories and food, and we're going to tweak it this way. Let's see if you can do this.
Yeah.
And if you can, then
Right.
We'll prep for a show.
Okay.
So January came around, and he's like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
So, really that's
Kind of
when
took off from there?
Yeah, it took off from there.
How many shows have you done since then?
So that first year in 2022, I went from just doing one show. I ended up doing 3 shows that year.
Wow.
And then I did 2 shows last year.
Okay.
And then I've got 1 show scheduled this year, and we'll see how it goes, and then we'll play the rest of the year out.
Yeah, that's
according
awesome,
to that.
though. That's awesome.
So yeah, but when I stepped on stage, I absolutely fell in love with it. I'm like, okay, this is
Yeah. Well, and
this is
you
where I
know,
wanna be.
you said something there that rings a bell. But when I talk to a lot of bodybuilders or people who compete, you said you're doing it to prove to yourself that you can do it and you can accomplish it. It's not really about the other people on the stage, or it's not about you being this badass competitor who's going to slay demons on the stage or whatever. Like, you're doing it to prove something to yourself that you're capable of it. And that's something I have mad respect for anybody who competes.
Yeah.
And so with that being said, with you having the athletic background and kind of evolving your way through life's journey and then finding bodybuilding and fitness,
Yeah.
I'm curious to know, because obviously you're a female and I don't get a lot of female like content. I don't get this opportunity a lot. What is it about women in the gym scene? Like, what is it that holds them back from pursuing what you're doing or trying to improve their musculature? Is it a body image thing? Is it a fear of judgment? Out of your perspective, what do you think it is?
From my perspective, and I did feel this way at one point, and especially whenever I decided to compete that I wanted to do this, I think that it's judgment.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's years now. People say, "Oh, well, you're a man if you have muscles." Muscular females are masculine, and whatever else, but they're not.
Yeah. Right.
And just because you're in the gym and you lift heavy, you're not going to wake up. If I hit a PR today, I'm not going to wake up a dude tomorrow.
No. That's what I love. I love about being here, because the misconception still exists.
Yeah.
With a lot of women, and I don't take it as disrespect because they don't know, but they'll come in and we'll talk about protein and why it's beneficial, and they'll be like, "Well, I don't want to take that because I'll wake up, or like I don't want to look like you," and they're pointing at me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Sweetheart, don't worry.
No.
Your biology's not gonna, it's not gonna happen that way."
Right. Now, if you are a female and you want to look that way, I will high five you. That is totally fine.
Yeah, exactly. It's still badass.
Yeah, but if you're in the gym and you're lifting weights and you're not gonna, unless you are specifically working to attain that.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen.
Right.
It's not gonna happen.
Exactly. So what do you have to say, I guess, if there is a lady out there who's going to the gym, right, but they're almost like holding themselves back from doing some things that they like to do, whether it's like start weight training or bodybuilding style training. They're sitting, they're on the elliptical, they're watching all the other people in the gym because they might be in fear of that judgment. What advice do you think you could give them? Or like, if you were sitting in front of them, what would you say to that lady?
I would tell them to do it.
Okay.
If this is something that you want to do, do it. Because at the end of the day, you're going to have people, whether you are skinny, fat, muscular, whatever, whoever those people are that are going to talk about you or say negative stuff to you or behind your back, they're going to say it regardless of what you do.
Exactly.
So you need to do what makes you happy and do it for you, and don't worry about all that other noise.
Exactly.
Because the noise is going to come regardless.
Yeah.
You just have to learn to not listen to it.
Right. And isn't the noise usually a sign of you bettering yourself anyway? Like,
It
if there's not any
absolutely is.
noise, if there's not shit talk, then
It
you're probably
absolutely
not
is.
pursuing a good path anyway.
Yeah.
Or you're doing nothing worth mentioning.
And that was a big thing for me. Like, whenever I decided, like, through my journey, just like, I'm not big on social media or anything, but I opened my account up to public, and I'm like, I know that I'm gonna have people say stuff, whether it be locally or people that I don't know or whatever else, and I do get comments, but there's a delete option.
Yes, there is.
So I'll read it and I'm like, you know what? Delete, because that doesn't, it's not doing anything for me, and it's not doing anything for, I want to help women and men, to go after what they want to go after, and seeing that negative stuff, that's not going to help anybody.
Right.
And 9 times out of 10, it's either a troll, a bot, or somebody that's
Some pervert in
insecure.
their
Or whatever.
mama's basement.
Yes,
You know?
yeah. So I mean, I just roll my eyes at it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god, whatever.
And I say the same thing to even guys who are, and girls, right? A lot of people have anxiety with going to the gym, like, and it's hopefully nobody takes this the wrong way. It's almost narcissistic to believe that you going into the gym and in fear of judgment of others.
Yeah.
Like who am I? I'm not that special. Like, I'm not going to walk into this gym and people immediately stop and look at me and like start judging me.
No.
We're all out for our own best interest. So if anything, we're judging ourselves.
Oh yeah.
Like, we're in the gym, like, thinking that other people are looking at us the wrong way, but we're really just all up in here. Everybody is too.
Yeah.
Right. So, it's trying to get out of that thought pattern, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And they are, and they're, when I go to the gym, I'm not thinking about.
I'm not looking at the dude's biceps across the gym and like, oh yeah, I've got better than this, or like, I'm not doing that. I'm there to better myself.
Actually, you know what? The only time I'm gonna judge you in the gym is when you don't re-rack your damn weights.
Amen. You and Dusty both. That's been a common thing with my podcast.
Oh God, that makes me so mad.
Re-rack your weights.
So mad.
He said something when we had a cast, Dusty Hanshaw, when I had him on. He said, this is an observation I made. He said, the people who look the best in the gym, the best physiques, are the ones that put their weights back. I wonder why that is. It's a sign of laziness. It's a sign
you go to the gym to not be lazy.
Yeah.
So don't go to the gym and be lazy. Like, you're defeating the purpose of it. Like, take this is your space. Like, take care of it.
Right.
Just like you're trying to do with your body. Like, I don't respect it. Yeah. Respect the gym when you walk into it. Respect the people around you. Yeah. And just don't be a douchebag.
Exactly.
Re-rack your waist.
So one thing too that I've kind of picked up on throughout the years of just fitness in general, and maybe it might apply to women more so than men, or it might be the other way around, but community is a huge thing, right? And so one thing that I think is appealing to a lot of ladies and men is that feeling that you're a part of a group of people that is bigger than you, right? So I think that's why CrossFit blew up so much. Yeah. I think that's why places like Orange Theory and Burn Boot Camp really do well, because you're in an environment where you're around other people who are pursuing the same pain, right? And I think that bodybuilding might be a little bit more isolating at times, but I guess what do you think about that?
No, I agree. I think, you find this community of people, and that's like, I love Crunch. Yeah. And now I loved Orange Theory before, and I think it's a great community. The atmosphere at Crunch is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. Well, not right now. Well, HVAC, but
that part.
No, I'm just playing.
Hot. But I mean, the people that I've met, I've met people that I feel like push me to want to be better. Right. And in return, I push them to want to be better. And you find that like-minded community. And like, when you walk in, I mean, everybody speaks, everybody says, hey, and just like, smile, be friendly with people, talk to them. Like, I even try, if I see somebody that doesn't look super confident or whatever, like, I'll make sure to make eye contact and say, hey, to let them know that it's okay. Yeah. Like, it's okay. Yeah. There was one point where none of us knew what the hell we were doing in here. Exactly. And you'll figure it out.
Just be kind.
Yeah. And if not, ask somebody. Yeah. Like, if you're nervous walking into a gym for the first time, or let's say you haven't been into the gym 5 or 10 years, if you don't know what a machine is, ask. Yeah. Ask. And
I encourage people to ask the biggest, most intimidating looking person in there, because in my experience, those are usually the nicest people that are willing to help, because they've been there and they know what you feel like. Yep. Well, that's really good information to know, as far as like, sense of like, you can find that sense of community in a gym, right? It doesn't have to be like a group fitness class or anything like that.
Not to interrupt.
No, please do.
It goes back to the judgment thing. Yeah. If you're judging somebody because they're big and muscular, and you think they're going to be mean and arrogant and whatever else, but you're worried about somebody judging you in the gym, like, it goes both ways.
Exactly.
So just be nice. Just
let
be friendly.
Let the guard down.
Let the guard down. Yeah. And just,
Have you had any experiences with like working with ladies or talking with other, girlfriends of yours who want, like, I guess they have the image in their head of what an ideal female should look like. Maybe it's through like conditioning or like, I guess even the media, right? Like we're presented with what a female should look like.
Yeah.
And have you had that experience where a girl's talking with you and like they want to gain muscle, but they're like scared of what kind of blowback they'll get, or like not, I don't know, not getting a boyfriend or whatever it may be?
Yeah.
Like what, I guess, how does that conversation look when you've had it?
They'll tell me, "Oh, I want to be muscular like you, but I'm afraid of, what somebody's going to think, or, my grandma doesn't like it when I come to the gym because she thinks that I'm going to turn into a boy." And I'm like, "Well, are you going to turn into a boy?" And they're like, "No, I haven't yet."
Yeah, it's 2024 though. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. If I woke up feeling a little estrogenic today, so my identity, I'm
right. And it's.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it.
Okay, so I'm going to spring something on you because I think this is really going to, full transparency. I think it's going to be great for social media. Ladies like building their butt, right? I want you on the spot. Give me 4, like a quick workout. If you were to sit down and be like, all right, we're going to train glutes and legs today.
Okay.
What does that workout look like
on
for
the
ladies?
spot, and I think that like I can nail that one because I've always been quad dominant.
Okay.
When I started, like it was all quad stuff. I didn't have an ass, so like I've had to work for the little ass that I have now.
Okay.
But I like the hip thrust machine. Don't do a bazillion reps at low weight. Load it up. Train heavy. Train heavy, and do go up to the top, hold it. Come back down. You're looking at 10 to 12 reps.
Okay.
And I would say 4 sets.
Yeah. 4 sets, 10 to 12.
10 to 12. And I actually will do just that. And then I go over to the RDLs. I don't do the RDLs with the dumbbells anymore. I do them with the bar.
Nice.
And I load it up and I wear my belt.
Okay.
Wear your belt, ladies.
Yeah. I mean, because those things get heavy. I actually tore my left hamstring doing RDLs.
Oh, gosh.
In college. I was doing 315 for sets of 12. Like I shouldn't have been. But yeah, wear your belt. Be safe. Don't lock your legs.
Don't lock. RDLs, you don't lock your legs. We're not deadlifting.
Yeah.
We're doing RDLs.
That was my big mistake. Like there's a difference between the straight leg deadlift and a Romanian deadlift. And so I tried to merge both of them.
Ooh.
And so my RDLs, I would keep my back so straight, but my legs locked.
Oh,
so it was like, I was just asking for a tear.
Yeah.
So we've got hip thrusts and RDLs.
RDLs. I love the lay down hamstring.
Okay.
Whatever that's, I guess.
The lying leg curl or whatever.
Leg curl.
Yeah.
Whatever. I love that one. And also, go heavier on it. Squeeze at the top. Squeeze at the top.
Yep.
And then because you'll get that tie-in from your glute to the hamstring, you don't just want, you got to work all of it. You got to work all the angles. Don't
you're a sculptor of your body. You can't just like work one aspect, you know? Yeah.
That one. And then let's see, what's the fourth one be?
You're trained by Trey. So I'm waiting for one exercise to pop up, but I might not know Trey well enough yet to.
Trying to think. Yeah, what would be another? Which one did you have in mind?
Well, based on the shit show he put me through, we were doing a superset between hip thrusts with a controlled eccentric. So we'd hold it at the top, right, and then let it down slow. And then we'd go immediately into basically staggered stance walking lunges.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So that,
yeah. The walking lunges out.
Lunges.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
The walking lunges. You can either do weighted or not weighted. If you are supersetting them with something,
it's going to be tough to add weight.
Yeah, I wouldn't add weight. And two, if you're going through the motion and you're doing them the right way, you're going to work it without any added weight on there.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, that's a great little like on the spot workout there. Let's talk about like the whole aspect behind training heavy.
Okay.
Because I've had this conversation with JC. She doesn't want to, lift heavy, and she believes me now. But that pervasive understanding that having heavy weight on the bar is going to make you look bigger and bulkier. So you should use a 2.5 pound dumbbell and do sets of 30. What's your viewpoint on that? No,
the only time you're going to look big and bulky is when you're fluffy and fat.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah. Easy enough.
That will probably not go over well, but whatever.
No.
I mean, it's true.
It's the truth.
But you have to also you've got to put on weight and fat to put on muscle.
Exactly.
Now that doesn't mean go, eat like a dumpster can, but don't do it the nasty, trashy way.
Right.
Just, you'll have to up your carbs and up your protein but do it slowly. Don't go eat 10 Big Macs and say, oh, well,
I'm bulking.
Yeah, I'm bulking, so I'm going to go do legs now. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
It doesn't work that way. Which I had to bulk for the first time last year. So I learned a whole lot about that, and it was uncomfortable.
Right.
But if you want to get better, you're going to have to get uncomfortable first.
Exactly.
And, it's lifting the heavy weight for females. If you want that toned physique, the word toned.
Yeah.
It's like nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah. What does it mean?
How do I get toned? Well, you got to put on muscle.
Yeah.
And by doing that, you have to eat and you're going to have to lift and you're going to have to get your ass off of the elliptical machine for 3 hours a day.
Right.
And you're going to have to work. Because, the way, for me, when I tried to add muscle and to build, the cardio comes down.
Yeah.
And the strength goes up.
Right. Right.
Now, when I want to cut, the cardio goes up.
Exactly.
But if you're building muscle, you've got to load up that bar, and it's going to be uncomfortable, and you should struggle your last few reps. They should hurt.
Yeah. They shouldn't just be going through the motions.
No. Yeah. If you're going through the motions, you're not doing it the right way.
Yeah. That's the truth. You mentioned your pregnancy and you lost the baby weight. Is there any advice you can give someone who's in that postpartum period where they did gain a lot of baby weight and they're struggling to, maybe it's emotional, maybe it's mental, hormonal. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of things take place after having a baby or during, right? What would you say to a lady who's like struggling to get back to her original self or trying to become her best self?
I would highly recommend the 80-20.
Okay.
If you're like with the food, 80-20.
Yeah.
Because you go from, in pregnancy and stuff, you really don't have, you have to watch what you eat, but it's not the same as, I don't know. I guess there's different arguments with that or whatever, but you do need more calories when you're pregnant.
Of course. Well, you're feeding another human.
Yeah. So, but I would say the 80-20 rule to get a handle on it, but go to the gym.
Okay.
Go to the gym because there are so many mothers in the gym trying to achieve the same exact thing, or they have been where you are.
Right.
Talk to them.
Yeah.
Like, get out. If you don't have a gym, go walk outside. Get fresh air. Just do something to move your body. Because when you move your body and you work out, you're going to get those endorphins flowing. If you're sitting at home,
feeling sorry for yourself.
Yeah, feeling sorry for yourself or in a slump or whatever else. If you sit there, if you stay still, you're gonna stay there.
Yeah,
and you can't move forward and accomplish anything standing still.
It's true.
You have to move.
What is it, Jason? What law of physics is an object in motion stays in motion? Is that Newton's first? I don't know, but I always apply that statement.
Yeah.
Once you get moving. Doesn't matter if it's walking, doesn't matter if it's lifting or running. Yeah. That momentum builds, and then you can continue to take that energy and move it forward. Right.
Well, and to start, like, I'm a big proponent of, you have your big goal, but you set your small goals.
Yeah.
So, let's say you ultimately, we'll do it by weight just because it's easier that way. You want to lose 50 pounds.
Right.
If you look at all of this and you say, all right, I got 50 pounds to lose.
That's daunting, that's intimidating almost, right?
It's very intimidating. And especially if you're like, okay, I'm going to do this keto diet and I'm going to lose it fast. Well, you might lose it fast, but then you're going to put it back on.
Yeah.
So you need to do something you need to create little steps to get to that big one. So let's start out, let's maybe not necessarily look at it as I'm going to lose 10 pounds in the first month. You say, okay, I'm going to prep my meals 5 days a week.
Okay.
For every week in the month of April.
Right.
You get to the end of the month of April, you're like, damn, I did it. I accomplished that. Okay, now we're going to add something else in. The next month, you add in, I'm going to go to the gym 3 days a week. So now you're prepping your meals 5 days a week and you're going to the gym 3 days a week.
Nice.
And then you just add on when you can accomplish these smaller goals and you hit those small goals, it gives you the confidence to keep going.
Right.
But if you have this huge goal that's unattainable within a short window, you're going to give up.
Yeah. I find myself that way, and like in business, even like I have these huge aspirations for what I want this company to become.
Yeah.
But like if I look at those, and it's scary. It's like, how the fuck am I ever going to get there?
Oh,
you know, like, cause it's like, I don't have that money. I don't have that, all those resources.
But if they don't scare you, then you're not doing enough.
Oh, exactly.
They should absolutely scare you.
Right.
But you know where you're going, but you also know that you have to do certain things and certain steps to get there.
Yeah.
If you want to make it to the top, you got to take the stairs.
Yep. That's true.
I live by that.
That's a good point.
You got to each one by one. No.
You kind of have to fall in love with the journey.
Yeah.
Well,
and you shouldn't be. You should never want, even whenever you get to your big goal, what are you going to do? Stop? No. You're going to have another one after that.
Well, by that point, if you get there, when you get there, you've probably already established more and you've worked so hard to get there that you'd probably just wither away and die if you just gave up then.
Yeah.
Because like an object in motion stays in motion. It's an addiction, but it's it's good. But is there anything you want to tell the watchers, viewers, listeners? Do you offer coaching? Is that something you do?
I don't offer coaching.
Okay.
I do offer free advice though.
Okay. Yeah. How can people get a hold of you?
On Instagram.
Okay.
So I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
Okay.
So
got a TikTok queen here.
Yeah. Well, sort of.
No.
I don't know.
I don't like to. We have a ton of followers on TikTok, but I hate it.
Yeah.
I got lucky. I swear half of them are fake.
I think I've definitely got more on TikTok than I do on Instagram, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I feel like people reach out to me more on Facebook or on Instagram than on TikTok.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I'll have people, message and ask me stuff or whatever, what they can do, to get started, or how do I stay motivated, or whatever it was. I think that's probably the number one question. Like, how do I stay motivated? You do it.
Yeah. What is the saying? Motivation is what opens the door, but discipline is what keeps you going, or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, and it's something like the gym is part of my daily routine. And once you establish that, it's just something that you do. It's like eating or drinking, and you go and
it becomes a part of who you are.
Yeah.
Well, Jamie, I appreciate you sitting down with me and having this conversation. It was fun.
It was fun.
And also, too, for the people watching, Jamie will be present at our bodybuilding seminar. I'm about to go all over the upstate and try to drop these off at gyms and stuff to promote it. So that's April 13th at 12 p.m. right here at TNS Greenville. But thank you again for coming on with us.
Yeah, absolutely. And if any of the females have questions, just ask.
For sure. Yeah. I think it's getting them to that point.